You don't trust yourself. And that's why you're so indecisive. It's a small, subtle, but insidious cycle that really kills your self-confidence. And I struggled through it for a long time. I didn't trust myself when it came to starting a business of my own or trying to start other channels in the past. And it caused me to miss opportunities. And so I want to help you avoid the same mistakes. So here's how we can fix your indecision and how we can rebuild that confidence. The cycle in question is more like a hidden feedback loop. Here's how it works. You avoid making a decision for whatever reason. Maybe you say it's not the right time, or you don't have the information, or you're scared to make the decision. Either way. Then you feel bad for not taking action, for not deciding. And if you're like me, you beat yourself up about it. So for the next decision, you take even longer. You don't trust yourself to make the decisions, and then you feel bad about it. You beat yourself up. It repeats quietly, invisibly, but relentlessly. And eventually, all of these delayed and avoided decisions start to send messages to you. And these messages, I'll decide later. I don't need to make the decision now. I don't want to decide. That chronic hesitation starts to become a part of who you are, or at the least, how you see yourself. And the messages you receive tell you that I'm an indecisive person. I am not confident. That's how it destroys your confidence. And there's a lot of costs to this. Right away, you miss opportunities. If you tell yourself that you're not a confident or decisive person, then you're going to miss a lot of opportunity in the world. If your brain is primed to see opportunity, you will find them. But if you are trapped in this cycle where you don't trust yourself, you don't believe you can make the right decisions, you're going to miss those opportunities. Whether you see them or not, you tend to miss out on them. Because of this, you're going to lack momentum. Now, I'm curious actually personally to look into the psychology of momentum. I feel like there's a lot that is behind it. So if you want to see that, then just let me know and I'll look into it. But because you're not taking action, you're missing opportunities, you're not building the momentum that's going to continue to push you forward. Honestly, I might argue that momentum is more impactful than motivation. You can be motivated by a lot of things, but motivation doesn't push you out of the mud. You might want something really badly, but momentum is related to your movement forward. Thinking about what's a good example? Thinking like, a car in the mud. A car stuck in the mud, you want to get out, you really are motivated to break free. But if you don't have the momentum to propel you, you're not going to go as far. And you lack the momentum because you're lacking action. And because you lack action and you lack momentum, you might reflect on these missed opportunities and start to regret them. And I know I dealt with that a lot too. Missing out on a lot of opportunities while I was traveling, while I was teaching English abroad. There were opportunities that came to mind, but I never executed on. I didn't trust myself to do that. And as a result, I still occasionally deal with regret. But I'm working on overcoming that by taking action now on this here channel. But regret can be one of the most painful things to suffer through. And that can happen when you don't take action. And as well, you start to feel those senses of self-doubt. The messages you receive, whether you deliberately send them to yourself or not, are I can't trust myself. I am not trustworthy sometimes. And those are really painful feelings to sit through because it's hard to pull yourself out when you've put yourself at the very bottom. And I felt these a lot too when I was abroad. I had ideas in South Korea about starting a travel YouTube channel, and it never materialized. I just never tried. I had the same idea in Thailand when I was teaching, and I actually would go out more with a gimbal and a cell phone, record different temples or different nature parts. And I did develop a small little travel channel, but I didn't trust myself to see it through and kind of gave up. In another video, I mentioned trying to sell clothing from northern Thailand, and that never took form either. I really sat a lot with that regret and frustration of never getting any kind of side business or online business going, or any one of those channels going. But there are ways that you can rebuild your confidence and start to trust your decision making more. This could be a hot take to some people, but no one is born confident. That's right. Confidence is something you earn. And you earn it by making decisions, taking action, big or small, right or wrong. By taking action and making decisions, you show yourself that you can handle life in general. You start to get confidence going in motion. It's not about the perfection. It's about getting yourself out there. It's about trying the thing. It's about learning and growing. People do not become confident overnight. It is a process. And there's a few ways that you can start that process yourself. The first thing you could do, just make one small decision today. That's your homework for today. Because again, confidence isn't necessarily from the big wins. It is from the small completions. We like to think confidence is an event. It's something that you just see on this grand display. But really, confidence building is a process. It's a process by getting the small wins and proving to yourself that you can handle the situations of life. So, make a decision today, big or small. Prove to yourself that you can handle these things. Maybe it is starting a new morning habit or a new nighttime habit. Maybe it's just choosing a healthier snack today. Don't drink the soda, drink the water. You know who you are. Try to wait before you have your coffee in the morning, or go for a walk before or after dinner. One small decision, show yourself you can handle making decisions, and build your momentum. And the next step of this, since we're making new small decisions, is to forget about imperfection. It doesn't matter if you choose wrong in this step, because most decisions, as I mentioned before, are reversible. And I think a lot of people forget this. Most decisions are not going to be permanently life-changing, especially if you're starting small. New habits, new ways of behaving, new practices you want in your life. But I want to especially flip this, thinking about even medium or larger decisions. Because what if you do choose wrong? Well, think of it this way. Is choosing wrong still better than not choosing at all? I always was afraid of choosing wrong, and that kept me stuck. But even if you fall forward. You're still making progress if you make the wrong decision or fail at something instead of just staying where you were. That's why we need to forget about this imperfection. If you stumble forward, you're still making progress. And one thing I've been trying to do better is tracking the wins that I have. And this could be done in a number of ways. You could do a habit tracker, you could journal these in a notebook, write a note on your phone or computer. Just track the small wins that you have. It could be something as small as 5 push ups before I shower, or 10-minute walk before breakfast. It could be hitting the snooze button 2 times instead of 3 times, right? You start to develop a library of self-trust. And you start over time to trust yourself more. And you start to build the new identity of someone who takes action and can trust themselves as well. Indecision can be a very painful loop. It wastes your time, but it also kills your confidence. And I've been there. I know exactly how you feel. But as you start to get the evidence, the proof that you can handle decisions, big or small, you start to trust yourself. And you start to trust yourself with the bigger lever moving actions that are going to set you up in a better life. Are there any decisions that you're avoiding or scared to make? If you want to share, let me know below. Maybe I could help you out. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you, because these are harder things to discuss. So if you felt some kind of value or had some kind of takeaway, please let me know. If you have any feedback, any way I can improve the message or improve the channel, I'd really like to know. So thank you again for your time. I appreciate you watching, and have a great day.